Here's the dilemma. It's a chicken and egg scenario. Canada desperately needs more people to build homes, but the workers coming here need homes too.
In Canada, we build approximately 265,000 homes per year. And here we are talking about 500,000 immigrants coming in per year. We're undersupplied before we even talk about this immigrant influx.
Canada is a land of immigrants, with people from all over the world choosing to make this country their home. From the early French and British settlers to the waves of newcomers from Asia, Africa, and the Middle East in more recent times, Canada's history is a tapestry of stories of courage, resilience, and determination. Today, over 7 million foreign-born individuals call Canada home, and they have made invaluable contributions to the country's economy, culture, and society. Canada's reputation as a welcoming and inclusive nation has attracted a record number of immigrants in recent years as the country seeks to fill job openings and drive economic growth. However, this surge in immigration has hit a roadblock, a shortage of available residences to accommodate these newcomers. As Canada's population continues to grow and diversify, the demand for housing has skyrocketed, leaving many immigrants struggling to find a suitable and affordable accommodation.
It's time to face the facts. We have a housing crisis in Canada.
This housing shortage is particularly acute in major urban centers, where the cost of living is already high and affordable housing is increasingly hard to come by. But why do they keep welcoming people despite the housing issue? Apparently, immigration has made numerous positive contributions to Canada's economic development and prosperity. Let's check out some of the benefits. Immigration has been an essential ingredient in Canada's economic success story, helping to address labor shortages and skills gaps in a wide range of sectors and regions. Immigrants bring with them a wealth of skills, talents, education, and experience that make them invaluable contributors to Canada's workforce. From filling critical positions in healthcare, technology, agriculture, and manufacturing, to starting businesses, innovating, and driving productivity, immigrants have made a significant and positive impact on Canada's economy. They have helped create new jobs, fostered innovation and entrepreneurship, and contributed to Canada's global competitiveness. But the benefits of immigration extend far beyond the economic realm. Immigrants have also helped shape Canada's cultural and social fabric, bringing with them diverse perspectives, traditions, and values that enrich their communities and society as a whole. Canada is known for its stunning landscapes, vibrant cities, and welcoming people. However, the country faces a unique challenge, a low birth rate and an aging population.
There are now more than 7 million Canadians over 65 and all the worries that come with that.
Without immigration, Canada's labor force and tax base would decline, and the country would face increased pressure on its social programs and public services. Immigration has been a vital solution to this demographic challenge, accounting for almost 100% of Canada's labor force growth and 75% of its population growth. As a result, Canada has been able to maintain a healthy balance between its population and economy, while ensuring that its social programs and public services remain sustainable and accessible. Canada's reputation as a welcoming and inclusive nation is well deserved. But as the saying goes, every coin has two sides. While Canada's bold step to welcome people from all over the world is admirable, it has also presented a number of unique challenges. Canada's commitment to welcoming immigrants goes far beyond simply admitting them into the country. The Canadian government recognizes that successful integration and settlement are essential to ensuring the newcomers thrive and contribute to the country's social and economic fabric. The government will need to provide a wide range of resources and services to help immigrants adapt to their new environment. From language classes to job training programs, the government is committed to ensuring that newcomers have the tools they need to succeed in Canada. Canada's ambitious immigration policy has brought numerous benefits to the country, but it has also had some unintended consequences, particularly in the housing market. As more and more immigrants come to Canada to start a new life, they are adding to the demand for housing in major urban centers, such as Toronto and Vancouver. For many Canadians, these prices are simply out of reach, making it difficult for them to enter the housing market and secure a home for themselves and their families. While it's true that immigration is only one factor contributing to these rising housing prices, studies suggest that it has played a role in exacerbating the problem. It's no secret that housing prices in major Canadian cities have been on the rise for several years now, but the latest figures from Statistics Canada are nothing short of staggering. In November 2021, the average price of a home in Toronto soared to a jaw-dropping 1.12 million Canadian dollars, up a whopping 21.4% from just 1 year earlier. Meanwhile, in Vancouver, the average price reached an eye-watering 1.17 million Canadian dollars, up 16.8% from the previous year. To put these numbers into perspective, it's worth noting that just a few short years ago, it was still possible to find a decent home in these cities for under $1 million. Today, however, even that seems like a distant dream for many Canadians. Have you heard of the saying, the more the merrier? Well, it seems like that's not always the case in Toronto, Canada's largest metropolitan area. While 1/3 of Canada's immigrants choose to settle in Toronto, the city's high housing costs and limited supply are causing some residents to pack their bags and leave. According to the Toronto Region Board of Trade, for every 2 immigrants who arrive in Toronto, at least 1 resident says goodbye. And with the average price of a home in Toronto soaring to 1.12 million Canadian dollars in November 2021, up a whopping 21.4% from a year ago, it's no wonder why some residents are feeling the squeeze. So what's the government doing about it? Canada's government recognizes the importance of addressing the housing challenges caused by immigration and other factors, such as low interest rates and changing population preferences. They're not sitting on their hands, they're taking action. The government has announced various measures to support the construction and availability of more housing units, such as investing in affordable housing, providing incentives for first-time home buyers, expanding the rental supply, and partnering with provinces, municipalities, and stakeholders. With these measures, the government hopes to alleviate the pressures on Canada's housing market and make it easier for newcomers and current residents alike to find a place to call home. Also, the government plans to invest 10 billion Canadian dollars, or around $7.3 billion, to help double the construction of homes in the next 10 years. To encourage municipalities to increase housing supply, the government will also use some of this money to incentivize changes in zoning laws. And that's not all. The government also plans to tie funding for municipal services like public transit and wastewater management to the promise of increasing housing supply. To give you an idea of how desperate the situation is, Toronto, Canada's top destination for immigrants, has even allowed the building of backyard garden suites as a way to create more living space. Nonetheless, the housing crisis remains a significant challenge for both immigrants and Canadian residents. What are the implications of a housing crisis for immigrants, and how will it affect Canada's economy? Imagine dreaming of a new life in Canada but finding out that your dream home is out of reach because of skyrocketing housing prices. That's the reality for many people wanting to migrate now. With most immigrants settling in major urban centers like Toronto and Vancouver, the competition for limited housing supply has driven up prices and reduced affordability. This means that newcomers may have to compromise on their housing preferences or pay a larger share of their income on housing, leaving less for other necessities and savings. On the other hand, the impact of this housing problem on Canada's economy is significant. While immigration is essential to support the country's population growth and workforce needs, the high housing cost can deter skilled workers from moving to Canada, affecting the economy's growth potential. Moreover, the housing crisis can also strain public services and social programs, which are already under pressure due to an aging population and other challenges. Therefore, the government's actions to address this problem are crucial for maintaining Canada's competitiveness and livability. Additionally, increased population density can lead to overcrowding, which can exacerbate environmental issues and increase congestion on roads and public transportation systems. Finally, social challenges may arise as communities become more diverse, leading to tensions and a need for resources to support newcomers as they adapt to their new surroundings. Immigration is a complex puzzle, and housing is just one of the pieces that must fit perfectly. While it's true that immigration can boost Canada's productivity, innovation, and competitiveness, it can also put pressure on the housing market and cause a ripple effect on the economy. The challenge for Canada is to strike a balance between welcoming newcomers and keeping its housing market and infrastructure sustainable. Immigration has been a driving force in Canada's population growth, with the country on track to welcome a record number of newcomers in the coming years. The influx of immigrants has helped Canada outpace its group of 7 peers in terms of population growth, with immigration accounting for almost twice the rate of growth compared to other nations.
For the first time ever, Canada's population has grown by more than 1 million people in a year.
However, such a rapid increase in population also puts pressure on the country's infrastructure and resources, including housing, transportation, and social services. As a result, Canada will need to find a balance between welcoming immigrants and ensuring that the country's infrastructure can accommodate their needs. It's not just the current housing shortage that's the problem in Canada. According to the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corp, the country is facing an even bigger challenge. It will need to build 3.5 million more homes than currently projected by 2030 just to make housing affordable again. That's a daunting task, but it's one that Canada must face head-on if it wants to continue to attract newcomers while also ensuring that existing residents can afford to live comfortably. Do you think they will be able to handle the situation? Let's know what you think in the comment section. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date on the latest news about what's happening in the world today. Thanks for watching.